Friends, today we're going to jump into a topic that I'm highly passionate about: how to sell high-ticket coaching. Think of some of the best online sales funnels you've ever seen. They do a great job of taking customer from here and getting them down to a buying state. Well, a high-ticket closer is no different. High-ticket sales are the same thing. It is a step-by-step process when done right can take somebody who never thought about engaging into sales to purchasing a large ticket item. And I want to show you what I mean. I'm often asked by companies we work with, what can we do to help them scale their sales? Usually my answer is the exact same every time. They need to add a high ticket coaching offer to their sales funnel. That's usually followed by the question, well, how do I do that? Well, today I want to answer that question. First, by understanding what is a high ticket coaching program and what is the potential client's understanding of a high ticket coaching item. And then understanding the technique behind it by breaking down each of those processes within the sale. So what is high ticket coaching? High ticket coaching is offering a program that costs quite a bit of money in simple terms, right? High ticket coaching involves a student working with a coach one-on-one for a period of time. This is the industry that I've been in for a long time. We have coaches that work with students on a one-on-one basis to help them in a certain educational vertical to elevate their game in whichever vertical they want to study in. And these are the industries that we focus on: real estate investing, starting an online business, personal development or life coaching, and how to get a business started. Now, our program and most programs usually have a component of group coaching where they're part of a group and being taught as well. There's usually a component of a hotline that they have access to, that if they ever have any questions in between their one-on-one coaching sessions, they can call in and listen to them. And the final component is access to an online library or online platform that the coaches can deliver homework assignments or content to the individuals to help supplement what they're being coached on. Now, if you don't have all of those things, maybe you just have a group coaching model, just know there's organizations out there that do provide those services, and they even provide them at piecemeal. If you just have group coaching and you wanted to add an element of one-on-one coaching, there's organizations that do that, fulfillment houses that do just that. And that's something to consider. Do you want to outsource your fulfillment, or do you want to keep it in-house? Now, keeping it in-house can be very expensive, and you're dealing with employees. You're dealing with people that are working for you. Maybe it's not employees, maybe they're 1099, but regardless, you're working with individuals. And some people want to focus on what they're really good at. Maybe that's driving sales, driving leads, but the fulfillment of it is something they'd prefer to outsource. If that's something that you're interested in, know that there are groups that do just the fulfillment side of it. We have an organization that just does the fulfillment side, and we work with a lot of clients who say, listen, we're really good at driving customers and getting sales, but the last thing we want to do is educate them, right? That's not our core competency, but there are groups where it is their core competency. So what is the client's perception of high ticket coaching? The reason I ask that is because a lot of people, when they engage in a conversation about a high ticket program, usually they started from a space of, I'm not considering buying a high ticket coaching, and they're taken to a place where they end up buying a high ticket program. Now, the way to get them from point A to point B really is through a question-based selling approach. If you have great salespeople who understand that, and they understand how by asking the right questions, get them from point A to point B, and eventually the customer sells themselves, then you've got a great sales organization. And really, that's the strategy that you need to employ in order to get people from point A to point B. And I always tell salespeople, when you're selling high ticket coaching and you're using question-based strategies, you need to be speaking 25 to 30% of the time. The potential customer or client needs to be speaking 70, 75% of the time. And if you have those ratios in line, eventually the person sells themselves, because nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. They just want to buy on their terms. And if they sell themselves, if they come to that conclusion themselves, usually you've done your job the right way. So let's break down the process of selling high ticket coaching. Now, realize it starts with a lead. And in my other videos, I've talked about the quality of leads. It's somebody who's either invested time or money or both. It's not just somebody who opted into something or somebody who raised their hand. They've got to be somebody who's engaged, right? Otherwise, you'd be wasting your time. And so there's a two-part sales process that we employ that really help take people from a potential client to a high ticket sale. And it's broken up into two categories. It's the probe or the consultation and the close. And we even look at that probe or consultation. We sometimes call it a needs analysis, right? We want to find out where the customer's at, where they want to get to, and see if we can bridge the gap from point A to point B. And you do that through asking questions. So here's the process of the consultation broken down really simply. First off, you approach them, you want to find out what is their motivation for buying what they bought. And you want to listen. And you want to ask questions that go below the surface. Surface level questions are always going to get you surface level answers. Well, did you like the program? No. Do you have the program? Yes. Why did you buy the program? What was your motivation for getting involved in that in the first place? We've even seen it where people didn't buy the program or they didn't get the program, but you ask them what their motivation was in the first place to buy it, and they start getting into the right type of information that you need to take them from point A to point B. So asking their motivation, they're going to talk to you about why they want to do that. And then you want to get into a situation where you find out exactly what their current situation looks like. Because typically the people who've engaged with you or they've bought something is because there's something within their current situation that they would like to see different. So once you understand exactly where they're at, and once again, that takes asking questions below the surface, you can then move to the phase that you want to talk about some of their goals, right? And that's really the fun part. And you do, that's when your energy level rises and you start talking with more energy towards the client. Because when they're talking about their goals, their dreams, their energy should be high. Those are questions, once again, you want to ask questions that go below the surface. Well, tell me a little bit more about that. If that was the case, what would that do for your life? How would that change things for you? So when they have a clear vision of where they want to get to, and they know where they're at that point, we want to start with commitments. That's the final part of the consultation or the probe, is making sure that they can commit to certain things. And if they commit to those certain things, typically by the end of the conversation with the director or closer, they're going to move forward or opt out. You want that to be understood in that probe conversation. Yes is okay, no is okay. Maybe doesn't work for anybody. We just need somebody who's able to make a decision. We're going to give you all the information you need, and once you have that information, we're just asking you to say yes or no. And either one is okay. Is that something you can agree to? Absolutely. At that point, you then set up a time where the director can then jump on the phone with this individual or meet with this person and go through the close. Now, the close has similar elements to the consultation. The closer is going to reiterate where they're at, where they want to get to, and maybe add a few more questions, maybe really pull out that emotion, because this sale is an emotional sale. The only way you get somebody from this state where they're not thinking about buying something to where they spend $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, it's got to be emotion based. We say people buy an emotion and then justify it logically. So you've got to be able to pull out that emotion. That's really what gets people to change. That is what drives individuals to make important changes in their lives. So you reiterate that, you reiterate the commitments, and you ask them to move forward. And if they move forward in a positive way, you enroll them into the program. So that's the way we've always sold high ticket coaching. I'd be interested if you've seen or done something different. Your feedback is really important to me. Be sure to comment, let me know what you think. Also, like always, I've got a free gift for you. It's a sales course. It's a 12-part series. It's called Persuasion and Influence. Typically, we're offering each course for $100 a piece. There's 12 of them. I'm giving it away for free. Just go ahead, click on the link below, aaronsalestraining.com, and enjoy that free gift. Thank you. Have a great day.